There's an old restaurant kitchen saying that the best way to cook fish is to walk it through a hot kitchen. And I think there might be a little bit of truth in that. Fish, including salmon, which I'm making today, is exceptionally prone to overcooking. And nobody wants that because you're taking cuisine and turning it into cat food. But I'm going to show you an easy way to cook salmon. It might actually be the easiest way you've ever cooked salmon. We're slow roasting. Now I'm using a whole fillet here. It's also going to give us a better chance of not overcooking the fish than using small fillets. So this is a 2.5 pound fillet. Now this one's actually a little bit bigger than 2.5 pounds because it still has the belly attached. Now I'm going to remove that in a minute. But I do want to show you that there is no skin on here. I've asked the fishmonger to remove the skin, but there are a couple of pin bones left. Just run your finger right along the salmon and then use a good pair of pliers and grab those pin bones right there and just pull them out. And this part is the belly. So it's very easy to remove. You can actually save it for later, use it to make salmon cakes. I'm just going to take a sharp knife and just cut right along this demarcation, this little white line here, because that's really where it starts to taper down and it can cook unevenly. Just save that for later. So let's make this easy and season this up. We've got a little bit of brown sugar, a tablespoon of packed brown sugar. I'm going to mix that with a teaspoon of kosher salt and a half a teaspoon of black pepper. I'm going to sprinkle this all over the salmon. Just get it evenly spread out there. All right, flip this over and more on that second side. There we go. One last thing to do. I've got a 13 by 9 inch baking dish. This goes right into the dish and that's it. That is all the prep that's needed before this is cooked. Now we are going to slow roast it. As I said, the oven is set to 250 degrees and we're going to let that stay in there until the internal temperature in the middle of the salmon reaches 125 degrees. That's for farm salmon. We have instructions on our website for wild salmon, and that's going to take between 55 to 60 minutes. The salmon just has a few more minutes in the oven, perfect amount of time to make a very quick sauce. So we're making a chive olive oil lemon sauce. And I just need 2 tablespoons of minced chives. That looks great. Now we've got some lemon. I want to use both the juice and the zest. So I'm going to start by zesting the lemon, just using a rasp grater to get the most outer part of the lemon zest. This is where a lot of those beautiful oils are. All right, let's slap that. I'm going to measure it all at the end here. And I'm going to juice this lemon. I need a tablespoon and a half. So we're going to add all of this to a 1/4 cup of extra virgin olive oil. So again, I need a tablespoon and a half of freshly squeezed lemon juice. I need a couple of teaspoons of lemon zest. And then a couple of tablespoons of fresh chives. There we go. Add a little bit of salt. This is a half of a teaspoon of kosher salt. I'll mix this together with my fork. We also have some great flavor variations for this sauce. We've got a dill and garlic, and then a parsley and cayenne sauce, and you can find those on our website. All right, so I'm just going to set that aside while I go get the salmon. Now you can see that the salmon has shrunk just a little bit, but not too much, and that's again because we slow roasted it. But I need to check the temperature. We're looking for about 125. I'm going to put it right in the middle here. All right, we went over just a little bit, 126, but that's okay. The slow roasting is perfect for this. It's not going to overcook. The slower you cook the salmon, the less carryover cooking on the other side. So this is only going to rise in temperature just a little bit. We're going to let this rest right in the pan, and I'm going to pour this sauce right over the salmon. Then as this rests, some of that sauce is going to start being absorbed by the salmon, and then we'll be ready to eat. 5 minutes. It's time to eat the salmon. Now, this is such a beautiful salmon. It would be a shame not to platter it for guests. So I'm going to show you how easy it is to portion this. Just take a spatula here, and I like to cut it right down this kind of center fault line, and then we can portion it. Now you can portion this into 6 portions, 8 portions. I like 6. All right. Now to get this onto our platter, I'm just going to use a spoon and that spatula. Oh, the salmon is so tender, so juicy. So there's a little bit of sauce left in the bottom. I'm going to spoon that sauce all over the salmon. Now I just need a big fork to eat the whole thing. That looks stunning. It is so supple and silky, very moist, definitely not overcooked. I love everything about this. It's really well seasoned. It's got a little bit of that sugar, just adds a little depth of seasoning there. And of course the sauce that I poured over it at the end, really, really bright. So beautiful. Now, wasn't that easy? To make this beautiful salmon at home, sprinkle the fish with a mixture of brown sugar, salt, and pepper. Roast it in a low 250-degree oven, and then pour a bright lemon sauce over the fish before serving. So from Cook's Country, silky, tender, and tasty, slow roasted salmon with chives and lemon. You better get your piece first.